Welcome to the Explainer. If you're a project manager, an operations executive, or honestly just someone who lives and dies by a tightly organized workflow, you already know the ultimate dream, right? We all want an AI that actually gets the highly structured world of project management. Not just another chatbot that spits out generic text and then completely forgets what you said 5 minutes later, like a digital goldfish. No, we want a true operational partner. Well, today we're unpacking a platform that promises to deliver exactly that, pmdox. It's an AI project management office, and it's built entirely around the real rituals and rigor of professional project management. Okay, let's dive into this. We know your time is super valuable, so here's our structured roadmap for today. Generic AI versus pmdox, the power of project memory, a seamless 3-step PMO workflow, the Dox Suite itself, and we'll wrap things up with collaboration and integrity checks. Let's get started. All right, Section 1, Generic AI versus pmdox, the main conflict. So, the biggest headache operations executives are facing right now is basically AI amnesia. You know the drill. You start from absolute zero every single chat. You have to re-explain the entire context of your project, only to get some generic output that any real PMO would instantly reject. Well, pmdox actually cures this. Its doxChat feature inherently remembers your project charter, your RAID log, your work breakdown structure, the whole shebang. It instantly generates methodology-aligned templates, whether you're running an agile, waterfall, or hybrid approach. Now, what's really interesting about this is the sheer manual labor we just kind of accept. Even with all these smart chatbots out there, you're probably still building Gantt charts entirely by hand, right? And don't get me started on that soul-crushing email chase just to get weekly status updates. But contrast that with pmdox's doxAssist tool. It actually proposes the phases, tasks, and dates directly based on your documents. Plus, it uses these super handy magic link invites to gather team updates completely effortlessly. Moving right along to Section 2, the power of project memory, curing AI amnesia. So, what exactly is project memory? Well, think of it like an incredibly intelligent auto-pre-filled ecosystem. Every single charter, RAID entry, stakeholder register, and file upload is permanently tied to your specific project. And this unified memory is the engine powering the doxChat Copilot. When you ask a question about your project, your Copilot is answering exclusively from your own trusted documents. It's not just making things up or scouring the open web. It gives you total relevance, absolute accuracy, and security for your specific scope. And you might be wondering about the scale of this memory capability. Honestly, it's massive. We're talking about pmdox linking and synchronizing over 50 different project management artifacts. 50. Everything from your communications plan and stakeholder register right down to your scope statement and lessons learned. It weaves all 50 plus of these artifacts into one rock-solid single source of truth for your project. Because pmdox reads absolutely all of them, nothing gets lost in the shuffle. Everything just stays perfectly aligned. Let's move to and see how this builds in Section 3, a 3-step PMO workflow, kickoff to sign-off. This entire journey breaks down into a really seamless 3-step workflow. First, you start the project. You just pick your methodology, drop in a brief, and let the system automatically extract the sponsor, scope, dates, and risks right into that project memory we just talked about. Second, you generate and iterate. You build out that massive 50-plus artifact library using doxChat as your super-informed co-pilot. And third, plan, ship, export. You let doxAssist build your timeline and immediately start gathering those vital updates. Now, an absolutely crucial part of that final step is the flexibility it gives you for delivery. You get a one-click export to PDF or a beautifully branded DOCX file. And this is a total game changer for PMs. You can export your auto-generated Gantt timeline directly into Excel. Boom, done. On top of that, the platform has some seriously impressive multi-language translation capabilities. You can take any generated document and instantly translate it into Arabic, Spanish, French, Dutch, or Turkish. For enterprise teams managing global stakeholders, that is just a huge, huge win. Which brings us to Section 4, meet the Dox Suite, specialized co-pilots. And this brilliantly illustrates the Dox Suite ecosystem. It basically breaks down into 3 dedicated tools, each with really cleanly organized functions. First up, doxChat. That's your conversational co-pilot with full memory. It's drawing answers straight from your charter, your RAID log, and your RACI. Next is doxAssist, which is the builder. It scans your charter and risk documents to actively propose a Gantt chart and whip up structured RAID logs on demand. And finally, doxScan. This is your automated auditor, doing one-click integrity checks across all 50 plus of those linked artifacts. Let's ground this in reality for a second to see what this actually looks like in practice.
Here's a real-world executive summary excerpt generated by the system. It reads, "The customer portal revamp consolidates 3 legacy tools into one self-serve experience, reducing support tickets by an estimated 35%. Notice how specific that is? That is not your standard generic AI boilerplate fluff. It really proves the high quality and extreme specificity of the pros pmdox generates, simply because it's actively pulling from your unique linked project data.
All right, final stretch. Section 5, collaboration and integrity checks, solving the update chase. So the crucial point here addresses what is absolutely the biggest headache in any project manager's day-to-day life, relentlessly chasing down team updates. To solve this, pmdox uses collaborator magic links. You can literally just invite anyone by email straight from your timeline. They get a secure, personal magic link, and they can post their status, their progress percentages, and their notes directly back to you. The absolute best part? They do not need to create an account. They don't need to learn new software. It completely eliminates the friction of account creation and finally stops that endless cycle of email chasing. And then, of course, we have the integrity check with doxScan. Seriously, I want you to imagine the immense relief of having a system constantly reviewing your entire project. With just one click, doxScan runs a comprehensive cross-document review. It actively surfaces hidden conflicts in names, dates, scope, and risks across all 50-plus documents. It'll catch those tiny, sneaky inconsistencies, like, say, a date mismatch between your timeline and your charter, or a missing dependency in your RAID log, and it catches them long before your project sponsor ever lays eyes on them. It's quite literally like having a flawless QA team on standby 24/7. Which leaves us with one final, very important question to consider. Are you ready to bring memory, methodology, and momentum to your PMO? By finally moving away from amnesic AI and embracing systems built exclusively for project management, the whole future of oversight looks entirely different. Thank you so much for joining this explainer today. We'll leave you with this. What will your workflow actually look like when your AI finally remembers the plan?